This week, I released Merge Sprite, which is my first truly commercial project. Please hold your applause. I mean, I sold some Flash games to websites back in the day, but I don't think sponsorships really count as a commercial endeavor. So I want to talk about it a bit, what the project is, and the path of development. So I guess we should first start with, what is Merge Sprite? It's a tool that allows you to quickly adjust and alter existing sprite sheets. You can layer up to 4 sprite sheets together to create something truly unique. You can also add various blend effects and a few shader effects to those sprites to create unique looks and effects. The sprite sheets can then be exported either as is, sprite cells can be resized, and frames can be removed, either from the beginning, the end, or evenly throughout the animation. Just to show you, you can take these 2 sprites and merge them together to create something like this. Now, some of you are probably wondering, why does this even exist? Well, a little over a year ago, I created this tool for my friend Cartoon Coffee, allowing him to quickly batch convert sprite sheets into a series of individual images. He then did some cutscenes for hand cannon for me. Well, a few months ago, he asked me to expand the project. And as they say, the rest is history. Eventually, the project would evolve into something a bit bigger than what was originally spec'd, adding just over 20 blend effects and other shader effects. So who is this program made for? Well, first, if you're a great artist, you may or may not find this tool useful. Everyone has their own workflow, and you might prefer whatever it is that you're currently using. Merge Sprite is great for batch converting, as it has retained its batch mode from the original iteration. However, I think it is especially useful for the non-artistic types. That way, they can make asset packs that they've purchased online look unique. One of the bigger problems with asset packs is that other games also use those same assets. So Merge Sprite can help in making your game have its own identity, even while using pre-made assets. So how did development go? Well, it was a bit hit and miss for me. Most of it went fine. This program was created in monogame. I created my own UI engine, which was pretty easy. The import and export code was also pretty simple, just some basic algebra and geometry. The hard part was merging the layers together, not just the blend modes either. It wasn't until I felt ready to show Cartoon Coffee my progress did I realize that the layers weren't quite blending correctly. Prior to showing him my work, I had only used sprites that featured no semi-transparent pixels for my testing. The pixels were either fully on or fully off. When he tried to merge a few of his own special sprite effects, it was instantly apparent that they were not blending together properly. It would create this really weird effect, and even worse, the preview in the engine was different from the actual export. So this is where I had to go down this rabbit hole of graphics programming. I had to learn about blend states, and boy did I have a time with that. It was a ton of trial and error, but blend states on their own didn't even solve the issue. I also had to create a custom normal blending shader. I would generate an export in Merge Sprite, and then compare it to a file that Cartoon Coffee had exported from his own art software. Even when I thought I was on the right track, there was still a bit of difference. I went on this chase to try to get it to match for 3 days, until I eventually generated my own file in paint.net and compared it to my friends. There were still differences between those files as well, and that's when I learned every program handles normal blending a bit differently, and each will produce a different output. And that's where my brain exploded. I wasn't ready for this. I had essentially been chasing my own tail for 3 days, trying to figure this out. Turned out I was trying to replicate some proprietary magic that would likely never be 100% on point. So after what was 2 weeks of studying, experimenting, and slamming my head against the keyboard, I settled on my own special recipe of normal blending, and I think it looks pretty good. After that, I did some tidying up, bug fixes, and put all the pieces together. So what's left for Merge Sprite? Well, as people use it and report bugs, I'll fix those bugs. There are a few quality of life features that I do eventually want to get around to. I also want to add some additional effects, some additional import and export options, and the ability to load sprites that aren't using a grid, but instead using a JSON file. And I also want to have the ability to export pack sprites instead of using the grid. I probably will also eventually rework the UI to make something a bit more refined. I have a few other ideas to further extend the application, but some of those would change the simplicity of it all, so I'm still debating about going down that road. However, if there is a need, maybe I will. If you're a game developer and you're interested in using the application, you can find it currently on my itch.io page, which you can find down in the description. I'll eventually bring it to Steam, but I kind of want to wait a bit, just in case there's anything program breaking. But once it's available there, I'll add it down to the description as well. Well, that's it for today, everyone. Thank you for watching, and thanks for your time.